With Monster Hunter Wilds being around the corner, about a month away at the recording of this video, I thought I'd talk about the potentials of the game failing and what do I think is going to happen if the game's going to succeed, if the game can fail, and how would a potential Monster Hunter Wilds failure even look like. So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. It's a little discussion, um, and the my opinion on this matter might actually surprise you. Now, personally, I don't think Wilds can fail, but there is a potential for it to fail. Now, um, the best thing we can kind of compare this game to is, well, Wild Hearts. Wild Hearts was a hunting type game, kind of like Monster Hunter. It played very similar. It had different weapons and combat and all that stuff, right? But the game as a whole was great. It's just it flopped and it failed. Now, Wild Hearts failed because of I think the game was made by EA. EA uh it failed because, for one, the performance was bad. It didn't really run on most people's computers or consoles, right? The frame rate was pretty bad. The game was beautiful, but the game wouldn't run well because of how graphically enhanced the game was. So that's something similar to Wild Hearts or Monster Hunter Wilds that we have, right? There's a lot of issues, people having it, performance, right? Performance issues. Another thing with Wild Hearts, the reason why it failed is, well, they didn't update the game much, right? They didn't update the game. We didn't have a DLC. We didn't have, um, we had like performance updates or whatever, but by then, like, it was already too late. Um, I don't know, man. Wild Hearts was a great game, but it just didn't work on people's computers and consoles. Now, the game, when I played it, ran smooth, but by then, it was too late. Monster Hunter Wilds, on the other hand, wow, that's a cool move, by the way. Holy shit. Monster Hunter Wilds is running through the same scenario where, like, the beta, like, I don't think Wild Hearts had a beta, but this game has a beta, and they've said that the beta is like a different, it's like a different program or whatever that compared to the real game. So the performance issues might have already been fixed and polished out already, which kind of seems like it with this gameplay. But just like, let's just say they don't fix it, and let's say like the majority of the Monster Hunter fans do try to play this game, and they still running through performance issues. Um, it's that's gonna be a really big buzzkill. People are gonna want to play this game just like Wild Hearts, but they won't be able to, and that alone could kill the game. That could kill the activity of the game, and therefore not sell much because of refunds and, yeah, etc., etc. Right? Now, we know that in the future, like when Monster Hunter Wilds release, that the game will have, up to five free title updates, and we could probably expect an expansion if the base game isn't depth enough, which I hope not. I hope the base game is depth enough. That's what the issue with World. That World didn't have much depth in the end game compared to like Generations and stuff like that. But I digress. But we know, since this is what Capcom and the Monster Hunter team does, they always do like five updates to the game, right? Five free title updates, right? And the life cycle could get more, could get less. We don't know, but Wild Hearts, I think, did the same thing, and then they just like didn't release a DLC. They didn't finish updating the game. The game was left dry. The end game is literally dry. It just says like, uh, keep hunting and live or whatever. Like, it's just weird. It's just a weird ending to Wild Hearts, and I think that if this game fails and they end up pulling the plug for this game, just like EA did for that one game, the one company, because EA didn't. They published the game. EA published the game. It was a company or a developer that developed the game, so they're the ones that made it. EA didn't make it, but EA pulled the plug. Like, they weren't gonna sponsor the game or whatever, like publish it or whatever. So yeah, I think that's how that works, right? The publisher gets to choose if the game continues to get updated, and the developer just has to listen to what the publisher wants. But yeah, we could be in a scenario where Capcom themselves says we lost too much money on this game, and we don't get no more updates, and it's just be like a bare bones. I'm not gonna say but Monster Hunter 3 Try lost is in the same scenario, but Monster Hunter 3 Try didn't have G rank, it didn't have everything, but it was a complete game. But the point I'm trying to make with this comparison was that Monster Hunter 3 Try um, was very lacking in the in-game compartment, but it was still fun. It was still good because it brought the Monster Hunter titles to the West, right? I think Try was the one that did that. Try and 3 Ultimate was the one that really slightly popularized Monster Hunter. That's how I got into it. Popularized Monster Hunter in the West. But the comparison I'm trying to make here is that the content for the game was lacking, right? So we might be in a scenario where Wilds might be in that boat if it doesn't sell well, if it doesn't do well, if it doesn't perform well on most people's computers and they can't play it, and etc, etc. We already have seen a ton of complaints with performance, seen a ton of complaints with like certain weapons like the insect glaive. They finally got their stuff back, their fly move. They got their fly move back, so they might be changing the weapons where you might not like the weapon changes, so that's one thing that might keep a player away from the game. But yeah, another thing is like the clutch claw, right? The clutch claw in Monster Hunter World was very monotonous to just keep doing over and over and over again, right? And who's to say that the wound system might be similar in the long term, right? Maybe in the beta it was quick succession, so it didn't feel like monotonous, but maybe in the long term, maybe it does become a little bit monotonous. Now, that's just y'all for you guys to dwell and speculate on that. But I'm just saying, like, these are all points that might keep people uninterested in the long term. The main thing though is the initial point of the entry, right? The beta is the initial point of entry, and if a lot of people try it out because they hear this big thing and they don't like it, then they won't buy the game, right? I think that the beta, if the second beta, it's just the same rinse copy of the first one, and maybe just added monsters, then I don't think that's enough to get a new player playing the game, and that's going to lower activity than what we could potentially have. I remember when I first got my friend into the game, he didn't like it. And then I told him just play it for a few hours, and if you don't like it after like, I don't know, like 5 hours, 10 hours, then just like, I won't talk about it no more. And luckily after that 5 to 10 hours, of understanding and grinding and playing, he actually understood it. Now the beta does give you that sense of time, right? You got like a week or like 3-ish days. That's enough to rack up like 5 hours, right? But the beta doesn't allow you to craft. It allows you to craft like mega potions and stuff, but it doesn't allow you to craft. It doesn't allow you to see the skill tree and experiment. It doesn't. You only have one area, versus like I think even Generations, the demo had like multiple areas, right? You could fight different stuff. But yeah, you get the monster parts from the demo, but you can't do anything with it. So the demo is like a very garbage way to experience the game, unless you actually spend, what is this game? It's like $70, right? You got to spend $70 to get the full experience. Now I'm not saying you should get the full experience in the beta, but you should get something, right? And if the point of entry is the beta that they want to do, right, then I feel like it should have been more grander, especially in the second one. It should have been a bit more like, maybe we get the forest area, maybe we could fight the fucking Uthuna maybe, and the spider, like something, and then maybe we get some crafting. But like, none of that progress has to go through. It just allows new players to get that experience, and whatnot. It's not even like the full experience unless the game is really small, which I doubt. But if you can't even let us see the skill tree, craft some stuff and get a little and see like decorations. We haven't even seen decorations. The game, I'm pretty like we haven't even seen decorations. Why are they being so secretive? But I digress. I don't want to expand go too too far in that. But yeah. Now you made it to the end of the video. I'm kind of done talking about the potentials and how the game could fail, and giving my opinion and my worries about things that I see. If you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm sorry for me not uploading as much lately. Um, been busy, uh, and I am just waiting for Monster Hunter Wilds to come out. It's kind of hard to make content on a game that's not out. You know what I mean? Uh, and I'm not like most of these people that's gonna like um, exaggerate every little thing that I see. So you know, I'm honest. I'm a real person. I'm honest. I'm true to the craft. Now, thank you for watching. Appreciate your time. Tell me in the comment section what you think, in the description what you're worried about to see in the future, and stay awesome. Peace out.